habits. They'd never told anyone before. And I realized I'd uncovered a huge global social issue. And so I felt a responsibility to turn Make Love Not Porn into something much more far-reaching, helpful, and effective. So I turned it into a business designed to do good and make money simultaneously, what I believe all business should be. And so today, we are pro-sex, pro-porn, pro-knowing the difference. We are the world's first and only user-generated, importantly 100% human curated, I'll come on to that in more detail, social sex video sharing platform. We're kind of what Facebook would be if it allowed you to openly, healthily, sexually self-express, which it doesn't. The way to think about us is, if porn is the Hollywood blockbuster movie, Make Love Not Porn is the badly needed documentary. We are a unique window onto the funny, messy, loving, wonderful sex we all have in the real world. And what we're doing is we are socializing, normalizing, and destigmatizing sex. Bringing it out of the shadows into the sunlight to promote consent, communication, good sexuality behavior. We are literally sex education through real-world demonstrations.
Is that a Gooner sign?
And we operate very uniquely, and I want you guys to be aware of this, because I want you to think about this with the platforms that you all use. The young white male founders of the giant tech platforms that dominate all our lives today, they are not the primary targets, online or offline, of harassment, abuse, sexual assault, racism, violence, rape, intimate abuse.
Great.
Therefore, they did not and they do not proactively design for the prevention of any of those things on their own. And we see the results around us every day. Those of us who are most at risk,
Don't beat your meat, y'all.
women,
Just Riz.
black people, people of color, LGBTQ, people with disabilities, we design safe spaces and safe experiences, but we don't get funded. Only 1.7% of all venture capital last year went to female founders. And that is why we have still not seen what the future of the internet can be when it's designed and built through the diverse lens at scale. I designed Make Love Not Porn to be the safest place on the internet because there is no self-publishing of anything. I designed it around human curation. Our curators watch every frame of every video submitted from beginning to end before we approve or reject, and we publish it. No one else does that. We review every post on every member profile, every comment in every video before we approve or reject, and we publish it. We can vouch for every piece of content on our platform in a way that no one else can. And the key point is, we're tiny, bootstrapping, have no money, and we've human curated everything for 12 years. Imagine what Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat could do with their billions if they chose to. So, as a unique business, we have a unique capability. Make Love Not Porn has the power to change people's sexual attitudes and behavior for the better. So, we've taught countless young people that porn is not sex in the real world. We have saved numerous marriages and relationships. That is literally how people write to us, "You saved my marriage." Parents are buying their teenage children subscriptions. They tell us, "I want my kids to see what happy, healthy, loving sexuations look like." And I was blown away when we began hearing from survivors of rape, sexual assault, sexual abuse. We hear from female survivors, male survivors, non-binary, trans survivors. They tell us Make Love Not Porn help them reclaim their bodies. We help them feel able to be sexual again, post-trauma, in a situation where porn is way too triggering. So ultimately, our mission is to help end rape culture globally. And that sounds like a very big mission, but we have 12 years of proof of concept at a micro level. We help end rape culture by doing something very simple no one else is doing. We show you how wonderful great consensual communicative sex is in the real world.
Yes.
Our social sex videos role model good sexual values and behavior, and here's the key point. We make all of that aspirational versus what you see in porn and popular culture. One man left a comment saying, "This video makes one to be a better man, in the bedroom and in life."
Yes.
We can do that.
Yes.
And so, class, remember I said to you, for me, everything in life starts with you and your values.
What are your sexual
So I
values?
regularly ask people
What are
this
sexual
question.
values?
What are your sexual values? And no one can ever answer me because we're not taught to think like that. Our parents bring us up to have good manners, a work ethic, sense of responsibility, accountability. Nobody ever brings us up to behave well in bed. But they should, because in bed, values like empathy, sensitivity, generosity, kindness, honesty, trust, respect are as important as those values are in every other area of our lives where we're actively taught to exercise them. And so this is a young man who wrote to us and said, your website makes me want to have sex in a more grown-up, honest and respectful way. And let me just finish the points and then I'll come back to it. And it's important, everybody, because I designed Make Love Not Porn to be fully diverse and inclusive. But we've discovered that we are especially a revelation to men. More men send us grateful emails, leaving push to anybody else, because we are something unique that men will find nowhere else on the internet, which is a safe space where men can be and watch other men being open, emotional, and vulnerable around sex. You wouldn't believe the number of men who say to us, I just watched my first video, Make Love Not Porn, and afterwards I cried. I've said for years, I wish society understood the opposite of what it thinks is true. Women enjoy sex just as much as men, and men are just as romantic as women. Yet neither gender is allowed to openly celebrate either of those facts. We'd all better off than they were. I looked up a wonderful Twitter exchange. This was a few years ago. I don't know if you can read this. But one man tweeted, as a joke obviously, hey guys, I'm looking for some porn recommendations for a pretty weird kink I have. Hoping you all can help me.
It's a freak-ass site.
Where someone loves and appreciates you for who you are and is loyal and decent. Hit a brother up with your hot links, please. And a man replied and said, there's a website called Make Love Not Porn where you can see couples making love. It's really hot and real. I found a video there where the woman actually said, I love you, while making love to her man. Sincerely, I started crying when I heard that. We transform sexual active behavior through the power of love, intimacy, and human connection. Now, I fought a battle with my tiny team every day to keep Make Love Not Porn going. Every piece of infrastructure other tech startups can use, we can't. The small print always says no adult content. I can't get funded, I can't get banked, I can't put payments in place, I can't advertise. And I'm telling you this because I want all of you to take away from that. When you have a truly world-changing venture, you need to change the world to fit it, not the other way around. I'm building solutions to my own problems. When you come up against challenges to what you want to do with your brand, your business, change the world to fit you, not the other way around. And the last part of this I'm going to share with you is one of the ways I'm doing that. Because parents and teachers began reaching out to me from day one of Make Love Not Porn, begging me to start the 0 to 18 and beyond sex education extension of what we do. And so I came up with the idea of MakeLoveNotPorn.academy. So we're building Make Love Not Porn Academy on the same principles as Make Love Not Porn, user-generated, crowdsourced, curated revenue share, because I'm not about reinventing the wheel, this is an aggregation play. We are building the go-to global hub for the best of the world's sex education content, which is currently being blocked, censored, and deplatformed everywhere. So our mission is to organize the world's sex education information, to make it universally accessible and useful. That is a deliberate paraphrase of Google's original mission statement. Organize the world's information to make it accessible and useful, because today they're not. Today the algorithm is biased, it's censoring. Parents and teachers tell me they can't find the education they need when they look for it. And so we are building the Google of sex ed to make it easily searchable by age appropriateness, by cultural sensibility. We'll have Christian sex ed, Jewish sex ed, Muslim sex ed, and importantly by personal comfort level. You decide what's right for your family, your school, your classroom. And I share this with you because, you know, in 16 years of Make Love Not Porn, I've built an amazing network of sex educator friends who face all the same problems I do. their content gets blocked
Bro, stop.
on
Chill,
Instagram,
man.
Facebook, TikTok. Their accounts get suspended. They can't even make a living doing this, and I want to change that. And so we have a large number of, especially black and of color educators. We want to help monetize their very important work. Yeah.
Can you teach these young kids the difference between love and lust?
Yeah, so I'm going to come on to that. That's a great question. So I'm going to come on to that point, okay, in a moment. Because we're doing three very unique things. The first is we are building the only go-to hub for all of this, bring it all together. Secondly, we are making sure the Academy has the most cutting-edge education, because the pace of education is not kept up with the pace of technology. We have education on sextortion, intimate image abuse, relationships with AI chatbots that are not healthy, and
That is true though.
yeah, sorry, and the third one, which I'm just going to answer this gentleman's question, is nice. To your point, we live in a world now where children are growing up. Where children are growing up as much through screens as in real life. Children stumble across porn at the age of 6. They build relationships with chatbots. You know, they're messaging all the time, so it's very hard to interact IRL. And what is being missed in all of this is the wonderfulness, the messiness, the gorgeousness, the connection of first love. So we frame everything through love. Make-Love.porn is love in action. The Academy is education through love. And so I hope you heard that, because that was the answer to your question. We are framing everything through love. Yeah, but I was just answering your question. So, yeah, but, I've said for years to parents, teach your kids about sex as early as possible. Teach your kids about love as early as possible. Because we take love for granted.
So this is
It's
AI?
such a foundational construct. We leave it to popular culture to define. And actually, people need to talk honestly about what love really is. I love the conversation in India Love's class just before mine. But let me answer that question. But the key thing is, do not say, let me hit it the first night. Because... and no, there's no let. If you're having a wonderful time, both of you want to be there, having a wonderful time. And you should make sure that both of you, there should be no letting. Because if there is letting, that is not a good sign. Make sense?
So I started to see though. You do a lot of first night. Respect Professor Gallup.
Thank you. So, to your question, now, I'll be honest, okay? I am that very rare person who does not want to be in love, okay? And just so you know, I am someone who has never wanted marriage. I've never wanted children. Very clear, I always knew that, as opposed to finding out the hard way by having them. I am not a relationship person. I adore being single. I cannot wait to die alone. And I date younger men for casual recreation for sex. Let me finish the point. And I'm deliberately public about all of that because we don't have enough role models in our society for women and for men that demonstrate you can live your life very differently to the way that you're supposed to.
Me, I
and still
want to be
amazingly
a
happy. And I want to
husband, a
have
dad,
people I know.
have a nice
So to
wife and
answer your
kids on the
first
ranch.
question,
That's
love at first sight does happen for some people, but for many more people it is actually lust at
What is
first
that?
sight, and that does not last. And so I just really recommend,
no, what is it at?
one of the things I say to people is, you know, just as I said to you earlier, look inside yourself and find out what your values are. Also, look inside yourself and ask yourself very honestly, what would really make me happy? Because it may not be what your parents would like you to do, what all your friends around you are doing right now, what popular culture tells you you should. There are many people out there living lives they don't really want to live because they went along those grooved tracts of my parents want me to get married and give them grandchildren. All my friends get engaged at the same time. Look inside yourself and go, what would really make me happy? And then do that.